Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Global Reading Challenge presentation from the Seattle Public Library. Real quick, I'm going to introduce myself and tell you the name of my favorite book when I was in 4th grade. My name is Miss Amanda. I'm the children's librarian at the Southwest branch of the Seattle Public Library, and my favorite book when I was in 4th grade was Captain Underpants by Dave Pilkey. What is Global? Global Reading Challenge is a partnership with the Seattle Public Library and Seattle Public Schools. Have you ever been to a Seattle Public Library branch? Here are the different branches you may have visited in West Seattle. The West Seattle branch in Admiral District, your librarian would have been Miss Leslie. If you ever go to the High Point branch, your librarian is Kristen. The Delridge branch, your librarian is Miss B. The Southwest branch, where I work, your librarian is me, Miss Amanda. You can remember me, I'm the librarian with the orange hair who works at the orange building. Or you may go to South Park. Your librarian is also Miss B. What is the Reading Challenge? Global Reading Challenge has been going on at the Seattle Public Library for over 20 years. This year, the challenge is based on 7 books, and you will be into teams of up to 7 kids. You read and study the books with your teammates, and you compete in trivia rounds at your school. So what are this year's books? The first book is Sadiq and the Desert Star. Everyone at school is joining an after-school club, but Sadiq doesn't know which club to join. When his dad tells him of the story of the Desert Star, the brightest star in the sky, and his class goes on a field trip to the planetarium, Sadiq realizes what kind of club he may want to start at his school. Can you guess? This book has wonderful illustrations in it by Anjan Sarkar, who lives in England, and is written by Simin Nurali, who is Somali, just like Sadiq. Simin and her family now live in Minnesota. Next is Letty Out Loud by Angela Cervantes. Letty Munez's first language is Spanish, which means she is an English language learner. She likes to take her time putting her words together. She loves volunteering at the Furry Friends Animal Shelter because the dogs and cats there don't care if she can't always find the right word. When the shelter needs a volunteer to write animal profiles, Letty jumps at the chance, but her grumpy classmate Hunter also wants to write profiles. So now they have to work as a team. Hunter's not much of a team player though. How is this gonna turn out? In Letty Out Loud, you can find out. Next is One Crazy Summer by Rita Williams Garcia. Delphine, Vonetta, and Fern are spending the summer with their mother, Cecile, who lives in California. But as Delphine says, Cecile doesn't act like any kind of mother. First of all, Cecile left the family after Fern was born. Then when the girls come to visit at California, Cecile doesn't hug them or cook meals for them. She tells them to stay out all day and doesn't come home until the sun goes down. And Cecile definitely doesn't want the girls in the kitchen where she writes and prints poems. So Delphine and her sisters hang out with the Black Panthers at the People Center, where they get free breakfast, learn about Black freedom fighters, and help get ready for a big protest. And then the girls see the police make a major arrest in the neighborhood. For Delphine and her sisters, visiting her mom adds up to be one crazy summer. Next is Sasquatch and the Muckleshoot by Adam Gidwitz and Joseph Brock. This is book 3 in the Unicorn Rescue Society series, but don't worry, you don't have to have read books 1 or 2 to enjoy this book. All Elliot wants is a nice normal day at school. All Uchema wants is an adventure. Guess whose wish comes true? Professor Fauna whisks the kids and Jersey, their Jersey devil pet, away off to Muckleshoot territory in Washington state, where film crews have suddenly descended en masse to expose Bigfoot to the world. And the Schmoke Logging Company is bringing in some awfully large machinery. Can the Unicorn Rescue Society escape the blades of the Schmoke's chainsaws, outsmart a cable news team? And are those big hairy creatures running through the forest really Bigfoot? You can find out in Sasquatch and the Muckleshoot. Next is New Kid by Jerry Craft. What is it like to be one of the few Black kids at a private school where everyone is mostly white and mostly rich? That's what Jordan is finding out as he starts 7th grade at his new school. He really wanted to go to art school, but his parents think Riverdale Academy will be better for him. It's not easy for Jordan to go back and forth between his diverse New York City neighborhood and a fancy school where everybody else takes exotic ski trips over winter vacation. But Jordan finds a way to make friends he can relate to and make a just right space for himself at his new school. This award-winning graphic novel won a Newbery Medal and a Coretta Scott King Award, so you know it's going to be a good read. Next is Finding Langston by Lessa Klein Ransom. It's 1946, and young Langston finds himself torn away from everything and almost everybody he ever loved in Alabama. When Langston's mother passes away, Langston's father moves the two of them up north to Chicago to find a better life. But life isn't better when you're a new kid in the big city where busy people ignore you except when they're bullying you for being a southern country boy. When all looks hopeless, Langston stumbles on a special place where everyone is welcome and where he learns the legacy of his unusual first name. He visits the public library and gets to explore his love of poetry. And the last book, When Stars Are Scattered. This is a graphic novel by Victoria Jameson and Omar Mohammed. Omar and his younger brother Hassan have spent most of their lives in a refugee camp in Kenya. Life is hard there, never enough food, achingly dull, and without access to medical care Omar knows his nonverbal brother needs. So when Omar has the opportunity to go to school, he knows it might be the best chance to change their future. But it would also mean leaving his brother, the only family member he has left, alone every day. Heartbreak, hope, and gentle humor exist in this graphic novel about a childhood spent waiting and a young man who is able to create a sense of family and home in the most difficult of settings. This book was inspired by the real-life events of Somali immigrant Omar Mohammed. All right, so these books also have book trailers. I'm not going to show them now in this video, but if you go to youtube.com and you search for the title of the book plus the word book trailer, you can watch short videos, kind of like movie trailers, that tell you more about the books. Now it's quiz time. Can you answer these questions about today's presentation? Let's find out. Question number 1. Which book is about a little boy who loved to read poetry? Finding Langston. Which book is about a young girl who is an English language learner? Letty Out Loud. Which of these books are graphic novels? New Kid and When Stars Are Scattered. Which book was about a boy who goes to the planetarium? Sadiq and the Desert Star. Which book is about 3 sisters who spend the summer with their mom? One Crazy Summer. Which book takes place in Washington State? Sasquatch and the Muckleshoot. Which books have Somali characters? Sadiq and the Desert Star and When Stars Are Scattered. Which book takes place in New York City? New Kid. Which book is about a girl who volunteers at an animal shelter? Letty Out Loud. Which book are you most excited to read? Okay, now that you've learned all about the books, I'm going to show you some places where you can get the books. If you go to www.spl.org/global reading challenge, you can find a few different ways to find these books. There are the apps Libby and Hoopla, where you can download the ebook, the e-audiobook, or read a comic book on a device, such as a laptop or an e-reader. You can also find out how to place a hold and pick up physical copies of the books from the library at the High Point branch. And lastly, you can ask your school librarian for copies of the books. We've sent a bunch to your school. Thank you for watching this Global Reading Challenge presentation from the Seattle Public Library, and happy reading!